Before I begin the video, I'd like to say thank you to the following channel members. Now running in my lobby, Fluffy Chuff Knuffles, Elias IDK, Annette Fisher, Steve Hughes, and the Yabbick. Click the join button, sign up today, become a decent human today. Not only do you get the title of decent human and you can brag about it, but also you're keeping the channel going because doing this is not at all for free. That being said, why not click that join button? Okay, I'm sure you got some reasons for that, but I mean, hey, you like this content, you keep coming back, you keep watching. Why not, set and forget super cheap, dumb cheap joining tier, which is on both levels, and get that neat title today. That being said, what's up everybody? BlastCapBadger here. So, more and more, we're getting into the rabbit hole of SCP. And the latest one recommended to me was this one. So this is SCP Explained, Story and Animation. I like that little skull icon. I thought it was something really fun to get into. Deadpool versus SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. I don't know anything about the reptile yet, but from what I hear, it's a pretty nasty piece of work. So yeah, let's see how everyone's favorite merc with a mouth, everyone's favorite Canuck, gets into it. Let's go.
Hello and welcome, one and all, to WonderVision. No, not that one, although we can understand the confusion. This is no superhero sitcom, though. This is the latest innovation from our dear friend, Dr. Wondertainment. Tell me, have you ever wondered who would win in a fight between, let's say, Superman and Goku? Is that pairing a little too by the numbers? Okay, how about something more like this? Godzilla vs. SCP-5514, aka the Dragon Slayer, a giant mech suit designed by the SCP Foundation for the sole purpose of taking on giant city-destroying creatures like the old king of the monsters himself. Now that's more like it. And scenarios just like that are exactly what we're here for. Friends, we've all spent so much time pondering the what-ifs, but as much as it would be a fun use of our time, we can't all spend our days daydreaming. Luckily though, Dr. Wondertainment has just the thing we need. How does he do it? Introducing his latest and perhaps his most ingenious creation yet, WonderVision. Through the miracle of the good doctor's patented and highly secret technology, you can now experience the outcomes of any fictitious situation you can possibly think up, and all from the comfort of your own home. Why waste hours daydreaming? Let WonderVision do all the imagining so you don't have to. So are you ready to take it for a spin? Oh, of course. There are so many possibilities, so many scenarios to think up, it can leave you feeling a little bit spoiled for choice, can't it? Tell you.
And yeah, that sounds all cool and dandy, but what would human beings be without imagination? If we're robbed of any element of ourselves, as we're being currently robbed, as you can see with our current culture, society, and everything just breaking down, falling apart, and exploding, yeah, bad things happen. So if you take away imagination completely from human beings and just force feed them an imagination, is it really imagination? Questions. Or maybe that's a really dumb question. I don't know. I'm a dumbass. Let's keep going.
What? Start with a fight scenario. Those are always good. An old-fashioned one-on-one grudge match. After all, who hasn't wanted to see two things that would never normally face off with each other go toe-to-toe? Here, you input the first fighter, SCP-682, a popular choice. The hard-to-destroy reptile. Infamously, one of the most fearsome and tenacious anomalies ever encountered by the SCP Foundation. Whoever you're going to be pitting against it definitely has their work cut out for them. Now you could pick another SCP to fight your first candidate, but why not try something different? Really push the boat out. After all, with WonderVision, anything is possible. So come on. Introducing your next contender, Deadpool. Ah, a comic book fan, are we? Well, once again, you've hit on an interesting choice. Also known as Wade Wilson, this Canadian mutant from Marvel Comics is not only a master of martial arts and almost every form of combat, but much like your friend SCP-682, he's got a knack for healing even the worst injuries imaginable. This one is going to be close. It also might take a while.
Oh, hey there! What's this, someone's YouTube video? Better watch my swears.
So let's get started with your matchup.
Better watch my swears. You gotta love Deadpool. I remember a time when Deadpool was only cool amongst people that like watch that read like the old school comics, and Deadpool became a thing. Like, and then suddenly you had the Deadpool movies, and he just exploded, bullets, gunfire, and everything onto the main screen, and suddenly almost everybody loves the Merc with a mouth. Remember when Deadpool wasn't mainstream cool? This guy remembers.
Combatants, take your places. It's time for round 1.
Combatants? Wait a minute, am I on Battle World right now? No, wait, it's Mojo World, right? Okay, maybe some other world obsessed with one-on-one gladiatorial arena fights? Is this the UFC? Also, another question, what the hell is that big angry-looking lizard?
Here we go. Wonder Vision is now generating every possible outcome. Let's take a look at this scenario. Now, we all know that SCP-682 has always been a formidable foe, and one of its attributes that makes it so fearsome is its size. The hard-to-destroy reptile is an unambiguous monster, a large quadrupedal creature spouting 2 pairs of legs, a tail, and a vaguely crocodilian head, its mouth filled with razor-sharp teeth. But as the old adage goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And nobody knows better about using an opponent's size to his advantage than the merc with the mouth.
You can say that again, Mr. Narrator Guy. Hey, do I really have to fight this killer croc over here? Oh, sorry, wrong universe.
On top of that, good old Deadpool is one of the most highly skilled swordsmen in the entire Marvel universe, rivaled only by the likes of Wolverine, Taskmaster, and Blade. It's a pretty well-known fact that those dual katanas of his aren't just for show.
Call it overcompensating. I dare you.
His training and tactics already put our underdog Wade W. Wilson at a little bit of an advantage. But let's not forget SCP-682 is no slouch either. The reptile is known to be pretty fast when it needs to be, fueled by its own sheer hatred for all other forms of life. That's its motivation, the sole driving force behind the creature. It thinks of anything else as an abomination. Whether it be a person or a plant, even other anomalies, every living thing other than itself are unforgivable, unnatural, and disgusting to SCP-682, and it will stop at nothing to kill anything it sees. Of course, that is a little tricky, when the only person nearby is a mutant with a similar penchant for bodily regeneration, as well as a notoriously big mouth. As fast as the hard-to-destroy reptile can be, it is hindered. Its own slightly larger size can make the creature cumbersome. It isn't by much, but it's just enough for our old pal Deadpool to get to work doing what he does best, unsheathing his pair of pristine swords. Wade flies into battle as gung-ho as ever. He lands the first blow, lodging one of his blades in SCP-682's reptilian musculature. The reptile lets out a furious roar, one that would strike fear into anybody else. But Deadpool? Well, he's not exactly the fearful type, more the too insane to back down type. Now, the hard-to-destroy reptile's hide is pretty thick, usually providing it with enough protective layers to defend the creature against more conventional forms of attack. Guns, bombs, knives, or in this case, swords. But the adaptability and resistance of SCP-682 is only matched by Deadpool's resourcefulness, also his reckless and wildly unpredictable nature. But speaking of resourceful, his swords, sometimes known as Bay and Arthur, aren't forged from any ordinary metal. Wily old Wade Wilson has been known to wield katanas made out of carbonadium, a metal that can not only deflect powerful incoming attacks, but the element itself is also able to disrupt the healing factor of certain mutants, like Wolverine. The sharpened carbonadium slices through the scaly leather hide of SCP-682, much to the reptile's disgust and annoyance. It moves to retaliate, swiping at the mutant mercenary with its claws, each as sharp as the blades of Deadpool's weapons. His natural reflexes kick in, slightly enhanced by the process that triggered his mutation and his rigorous special ops training. Deadpool blocks the oncoming attack by crossing both swords above his head, but the force behind SCP-682's blow staggers him. You see, he might be slightly faster than the life-hating lizard thanks to his smaller size, but Deadpool simply doesn't possess the same muscle mass and bodily strength as a gigantic monster. But he can still hold his own.
Hey, watch the cheeky double entendre there, Mr. Narrator. God, this gecko's jacked.
Deploying a spin maneuver, guiding the heavy limb of SCP-682 over his head, Deadpool uses his katanas like a pair of giant carbonadium scissors, a move that would make Abel proud. He cleaves off one of the monster's arms, slicing through the thick hide into muscle and bone beneath, causing the creature to lose its footing, tumbling forward over itself. Using the beast's fall to his advantage, Deadpool leaps onto SCP-682's back. Raising his 2 swords, he plunges the blades into the crocodilian head of the monster, each one stabbing directly through its skull. Sprays of blood, brains, and viscera spew from the wound. Not that you can tell from the state of Deadpool's suit. That's why he wears red after all.
You joke, but do you have any idea how hard this is going to be to wash out? I'm talking Tide pen, seltzer water, and lemon. I swear, if any of these stains set in.
Unfortunately,
if any of these stains set in. Some people might not find it funny. But you know what? I got a very varied sense of humor.
Deadpool does have a penchant for getting distracted, partly fighting back out of aggression and possibly partly due to finding the motor-mouthed mutant to be a bit of a nuisance. SCP-682 quickly rolls over onto its back. Startled by the sudden movement, Deadpool loses his balance and falls to the ground, quickly followed by the weight of a giant, hard-to-destroy reptile. Like we said, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Pinned under the beast, Wade reaches for B, trying to use the sword as a makeshift crutch to pull himself free.
Hey, I'm down, but not out. Let me in, coach. I'll bite his scaly ankles off.
Back on his 2 feet, and finding himself facing an enemy back on 4, Deadpool opts for a more scorched earth approach. It's time for Scenario 2. Few people know this about our dear friend Mr. Wilson, but he actually has more than a few tricks up his blood-stained sleeves. Or rather, in his magic satchel. Yes, you heard that right. The equipment bag Deadpool is normally seen wearing has its own extra normal properties to it. The satchel itself contains a near infinite pocket dimension, along with the ability to create anything that the user needs. Extra ammo, replacement swords, and an endless supply of stuffed unicorns. Hey, how'd you know about those? You name it, and Deadpool can produce it from his bag in a matter of seconds. Again, we really need to get this guy and Abel to hang out sometime, don't we? Say what you will about the speed and ferocity of one of the Foundation's most notorious anomalies, but no reptile has an abundance of extra hardware in its pocket.
You know, that's not a bad idea. I mean, I'm not just doing this because you said I would, or who knows, maybe I am. Hey, Croc, I hope you like pineapple!
With that, Deadpool unleashed a volley of grenades, all pulled from the extra-dimensional satchel and launched straight at SCP-682. The ensuing explosions are deafening, engulfing the hard-to-destroy reptile and the area around it in flames and debris.
Luckily, the writers let me have my bag with me. I honestly don't think I'd stand a fighting chance without it.
Unfortunately, as we mentioned earlier, SCP-682 is pretty thick-skinned, able to resist a lot of the explosive punishment Deadpool is dealing out. Conventional weapons, even combustible materials and ordnance, do little to cause the creature any lasting harm, and mainly serve to anger the reptile even further.
Oh, come on, man! What about if I use this?
Pulling a bazooka from his magical satchel, Deadpool launches the most destructive, expensive, and excessive explosive he can think of, a diamond-tipped, high-velocity, heat-seeking warhead. The missile lets loose, piercing the outer layer of SCP-682's scales and lodging itself deep in its side as the creature turns to deflect the full force of the oncoming ordnance. The reptile roars in pain and aggression to feel the super-dense tip of the projectile burrowing into it, through its thick, defensive exterior and into its flesh. You might want to cover your ears for what follows.
Hey, stop addressing the audience, that's my bit! Wait, what was that about covering our ears?
With an almighty boom, the warhead detonates, spewing flame and chunks of charred SCP-682 in every conceivable direction. Smoke fills the space around them, as the monstrous creature hisses in contempt, thrashing in pain.
So, yeah, they were right. This would take a while. They're both able to regenerate, apparently. Even though Deadpool can kind of slow down SCP-682's, healing process, he can't completely nullify it. You'd think that would be the key to it. Wait, where's that one sword Deadpool used? Where's that one sword? There's a sword he used that completely nullified healing factors. And it's not his twin swords. They don't nullify. They depending on the writer, I guess, or depending on who's writing the story, essentially, or who came up with like the plot or whatever, or plotism. They kind of can sometimes, but they don't completely know. I don't know. But it is kind of entertaining to speculate, right?
Suddenly, a large-scale covered tail whips out of the smoke. Still suffering from a nasty bout of military-grade tinnitus from the blast, Deadpool looks up only too late as a powerful appendage swipes at him, sending the merc with the mouth reeling. SCP-682 is far from dead. As the fumes from the detonation clear, its smoldering wound is already starting to heal, but that gives Deadpool an idea. Reaching into his magic satchel, Wade fishes out another grenade. The moment his gloved hand grabs it, another roar fills the area. The hard-to-destroy reptile begins barreling towards the regenerating mutant in red, bearing its wide maw of sharp teeth.
Well, this is a terrible idea.
Pulling out a fresh grenade, Deadpool charges directly towards the oncoming reptile, wrenching the pin from the handheld explosive and flicking free the safety handle. He leaps up into the air, aiming to achieve a balletic flip over the head of the angry monster. With its tenacious and loudmouth prey in mid-air above it, SCP-682 lifts its jaws upwards, just as Deadpool turns around to drop the primed grenade into the hard-to-destroy reptile's mouth. This goes about as well as you'd expect. Deadpool is caught right between the large crocodilian jaws of SCP-682. The monstrous anomaly plucks the acrobatic assassin out of the air with ease, but in his hand, he's still got the grenade, and its timer is rapidly ticking down. Another in a series of huge, deafening explosions rips through the head of SCP-682 before the reptile has a chance to swallow Deadpool and his grenade. Thanks in equal parts to the sharp teeth tearing him apart, as well as the blast of his own grenade, there's not much remaining of Deadpool that's still alive.
Nope, I'm fine, really. Just give me a few hours to grow back my, entire body. Actually, could someone come and pick my head up? No? That's okay, I'll just roll, I guess.
Well, technically, Deadpool is still alive thanks to his mutation. Much like his opponent, SCP-682 here, his regenerative healing is so effective, he can continue to function even when the rest of his body, skeleton, nervous system, internal organs, is completely obliterated. Then again, just blowing off the hard-to-destroy reptile's head is only enough to temporarily slow it down. This is the same creature that survived being cut in half by a laser and having its neck snapped repeatedly over 10 hours by SCP-173. So while these two are gradually
Wait, it fought another SCP already? We'll have to check that one out after this one.
reconstituting themselves, again, why don't we just chalk this one up to a tie?
A tie? Come on, man. Hey, I'm still, wait for it, ahead of the competition. Anyone?
Rough crowd. Let's just jump ahead a few hours and give these two a chance to heal up. Now, by this point, our old pal Deadpool has used most of his go-to options for a fight, and they're not exactly proving to be all too effective against SCP-682.
Hey, I'm doing my best here.
The hard-to-destroy reptile, on the other hand, is still fresh for a fight, as extensively healing itself rarely tires the creature out. Combine that with the rage that just won't be quelled, and a opponent who isn't just another form of life, but another living being who also can't be killed without regenerating, and all that adds up to one very angry lizard, and not a lot of other options for Deadpool.
Other options, huh? Okay, I can think of a few.
With that, Deadpool vanishes. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, he's gone. It's not unprecedented for him, after all he does possess a particular piece of technology that allows him to do this. Deadpool has been known to sometimes wear a teleportation bracelet, a device created by his friend and go-to for gadgets, Weasel. As to exactly where he's gone to, that's anyone's guess. It's a bold strategy, just trying to outrun SCP-682 instead of facing it, but admittedly a little expected from,
ta-da! Okay, I'm back, and I brought new toys.
In an astounding and completely baffling move, Deadpool teleports right back to where he was just standing.
And he grabbed the Infinity Gauntlet. Of course. Just snap it out of existence, right? That might work. Right?
Brandishing a golden glove with 6 shining gemstones encrusted in it, the Infinity Gauntlet. Plot armor, much? SCP-682 seems to know what this artifact is, or is at least wary of it, and keeps its distance.
Bet you weren't expecting this. Later, Gator.
Acting with a reckless abandon typical of nobody other than him, Wade snaps his fingers. Historically, only beings of immense power are able to wield the Infinity Gauntlet and survive. The cosmically powerful metal glove is designed to combine the effects of the 6 Infinity Gems, each one governing a different aspects of existence, namely time, space, reality, power, the mind, and the soul. As Deadpool's fingers click, SCP-682 is wiped from existence, turning into nothing more than a pile of dust floating through the air. Unfortunately for Wade wielding it, the Gauntlet's cosmic energy is so uncontainable that it is channeled back at him, almost obliterating him entirely.
Worth it though! Let's see Brolin top that!
To make matters worse, SCP-682 is
He said, let's see Brolin top that. He's referring to, I think it was Josh Brolin or James Brolin who played Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think.
Isn't down for long. While Deadpool's own healing factor is struggling to restore him, the hard-to-destroy reptile is rapidly reconstituting itself, knitting its physical form back into existence on a cellular level, fueled by sheer hatred and willpower. Rummaging through the small collection of objects he brought back with him when he returned, Deadpool slips on a metal helmet onto his head. This is no ordinary helmet, though. It's Cerebro, a powerful device used by Professor Charles Xavier, a powerful psychic that uses the helmet to amplify his powers and find fellow mutants. Although what Wade had planned for it is anyone's guess.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. I'm technically brain dead, so I figured I could use this doohickey to connect my mind to the big nasty lizard over there. Then I can project my own brain death into him and finally put an end to this wild ride.
While it is indeed an interesting plan, there are unfortunately some pitfalls of Deadpool's latest tactic. One being that only incredibly powerful psychics like Professor X, Jean Grey, or Emma Frost can even attempt to connect their mind to Cerebro. The other snare in the plan is, that's not how Cerebro works at all. It's for tracking mutants, not projecting someone's consciousness into the mind of another.
Oh, come on. I've been fighting this lizard with you semi-sarcastically chastising me all afternoon. Cut me a break here. All I have left is this little whatchamacallit that I stole from that stretchy Poindexter.
With SCP-682 once again bearing down on him, Deadpool aimlessly fires the weapon. Unbeknownst to him, the device he's currently holding is the ultimate nullifier, the most devastating weapon in the entire universe. The blast from the nullifier envelops SCP-682, completely and utterly eliminating it, violating the very law of conservation of mass.
Hey, what do you know? It worked! Say, can I go now? Wow, this thing is getting hot. Ooh, look, a penny!
One downside of using the ultimate nullifier is that it can often backfire, completely destroying the person wielding it too, especially if their mind isn't strong enough, or if they lose focus. And well, sadly, Deadpool has a knack for getting distracted. While the nullifier continues to obliterate both its target, SCP-682, and its wielder, Deadpool, its power destroys the entire universe from beginning to end. This power continues until it is the only thing left in existence, only to then collapse back in on itself. The ultimate nullifier ends up paradoxically nullifying its own effect, ultimately then recreating the entire universe in the blink of an eye, including Deadpool and SCP-682.
That poses a query right there. If all of that happened, is it truly the same exact universe as what was destroyed? Just wondering. But damn, that's one tough lizard.
So, we guess that's another tie.
Oh, come on!
Now go check out SCP-096 versus SCP-173 to see the outcome of another chaotic clash between the Shy Guy and the Sculpture.
Okay. Alright, there we go. There we go. So, from SCP Explained Story and Animation, Deadpool versus SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. I like it. I like it. Some people may not be a fan of, like, you know, the animation not being, like, top-tier, god-tier type stuff. But I'm like, you know what? Hey, still pretty cool. Still pretty cool. But what did y'all think? What did y'all think? Y'all let me know, alright? Alright, you know what time it is. You like me. You like this content. You like me going down this rabbit hole. Then please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And hit the real subscribe button called notification bell. Or better yet, get into the Discord. Get into the Discord. There will be a link in the description box down below. I post a fresh link with pretty much every video. There you'll actually truly get notified, because YouTube doesn't like to send out notifications or recommend channels that are not giants already, essentially. That's how it works, I guess. Something. And, yeah. Or they just hate me. It's one of the two. So, yeah, get into the Discord. Link in the description box down below. And then you can also send me requests. You can, you know, interact with people that are in the Discord BlastCapBadger server and all the shenanigans that ensue. So that being said, you also might as well join. You're still here. This is a 21-minute something, 22-minute something video. So, yeah, you're still here. Might as well click that join button, right? There's two tiers. There's like $1.99 and like $3.99 or $4.99 or something. Both cheap as dirt. Set and forget. You get the title of Decent Human. You can brag to everybody about it. And also you're helping to keep the channel going. And hopefully, you know, we get enough of y'all to join to where we can do some fun projects in the future. So that being said, be good. Be safe. Make a good life for yourselves. And I'll see y'all in the next one. BlastCapBadger out.